Greetings, Geechlings. Geechin Prime here with a discussion video of, just One Piece chapter 888 plus. But, mostly I just kind of wanted to talk about some things from that chapter and how it might affect some of the story coming up in the relatively near future. But before I do that, I have a few announcements. I mentioned it in a video earlier this week that my grandmother's in the hospital due to a fall. So my upload schedule is a little, wonky. I'm still trying to keep to it the best I can. There was a break this week, so that definitely helped. But I wanted to get something out, just to kind of get my mind off things. Also, I think I'm freaking getting sick, so that's lovely. All around the holidays. Lovely, all I see. But anyway, let's see, what was the other thing? I didn't write these announcements down, but it might come to me. Whatever. Let's move on to what you might actually enjoy. I believe Luffy might definitely get some, like a lesser form of the foresight observation haki that Katakuri has. But I don't want it obviously to be overpowered. And because it's like, when has Luffy ever gained a new skill and it become immediately so great? Especially against people that have like similar abilities or something, so it would not jive with the story that well. So I propose, if anybody's a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, remember Dio Brando's Stand the World and how it could stop time? It started off, I think, at just a minute, and it slowly increased over the span of what was left of part 3. And don't spoil me, but I'm still reading the series, so I only started part 4 recently. But getting off topic. I need some water. How do I want to word this? With Luffy possibly gaining such a power-up of seeing into the future, not stopping time, obviously. If he gets like 1 second of future sight, I see this as working quite well. It's not overpowered, so it'll, please the fan base that he's growing, but not at such a rate where nobody can defeat him or pose a challenge anymore. You have to have your obstacles, and they can't just be like, bam, One Punch Man style, and just end them all. So, yeah. Also, with that, I could see him at least somewhat defeating Katakuri if he does some, well-placed attacks with this new skill. And also, if you combine Red Hawk into that. Because what if he burns the mochi that is Katakuri's body? And then, say, he hit him in the face and he burned that mochi. And then Katakuri has to rip it away and then regenerate it. Over time, that's going to make him weaker. So, hey, Firehawk with possible 4th, or Gear 4th, which Red Hawk only seems to be on straight punches, so we could see a Red Hawk Kong and Red Hawk King Kong gun in the future. I feel a burp. And now it's done. It'll probably come. But anyway, I'm a disgusting mess. I apologize. So yeah, I could see this working out. Luffy won't feel like he's cheating because he's actually fighting. I mean, he defeated Crocodile in a similar fashion of using his weakness. Well, if Katakuri's weakness is essentially just running out of energy, like his, what was it? Mara, I forgot. It was his snack time with the donuts because he doesn't seem to have them anymore. Though they could be somewhere in the mirror world, and he might have been eating them while Luffy was mirror hopping. But, you know, that could be or not be. You never know. It's all... only Oda knows. As always. But I see this working quite well with how things have progressed so far. You know, Luffy gains a new skill throughout the series. Usually the first debut fight, he uses it and it's very hard fought. Right down to the wire. So it shows that he hasn't mastered it yet. And the opponent he fights is probably still quite powerful compared to him. Think of Rob Lucci with second and third gear. Luffy was almost out of it. Then with fourth gear during Dressrosa against Doffy, it was quite the hard fought battle. Now my ear itches. Sorry. Now you have Katakuri, and this could be the new hard fought battle. Works well with the story as we've seen it so far, and that's all I have to really say about it. The Sulong transformation brings up a few questions. One, do all minks gain this transformation? You know, like straight from birth? And, you know, like every full moon? Do they all just transform and become wild children? Think of what that's like with a bunch of kids and they just go wild. Oh my god. You know, very similar to the Dragon Ball Z Great Ape transformation for the Saiyans, where they all have it from birth as long as they still have their tail. But this gets escalated because when you start thinking, will this happen with every moon? Because One Piece has more than one moon. They have 7. So, you know, normally that would be 1 a month. Well, if you multiply that by 7, that's up to 84 times a year, which really makes the training this capability a lot more accessible than, you know, just like one night a month. For 12 sessions a year, you can train this skill. No, we get 84 times. But yeah, so if it, and then my next question would be, is this only for like the main moon that we typically see, if that's even the same moon each time? And by main moon, I mean the moon that Inaru went to at the end of Skypiea. It's the, how did I write this? Seeing as it's the homeland of his people, the Bricka, I probably butchered that. They're a spacefaring people. They came from the moon to the planet below. So they are quite advanced. And if it's only the main moon that's the cause of this transformation, does that mean that the Bricka made something in one of their cities, or their only city, that may be transmitting a signal down to the planet below? And it's, you know, having this effect on the minks. And, which sounds awesome, and it's a good way to bring Inaru back into the story. Because what if he happens to find said machine and breaks it, and then, oh, it's like full moon, and then Carrot's like, I can't transform, guys, we're screwed. And then, also, with the way that Carrot, and this was just like a weird observation I made. I can't remember if I said it during my reaction or not. But Carrot, when she transformed, she basically flew across the ocean, changing in midair and all that. Is that an ancient form of skywalk that we're just not aware of? Because it was very fluid. It wasn't like the skywalk that we're used to, where they kind of like kick the air to make their way through the air. And, which then got me thinking, if that's the case, does that mean the world government learned about this technique, adapted it for humans, making one of the 6 powers? Who knows? Which then may, if that turns out to be true, holy crap. It's like, they just steal everything, just like Goku. It's like, that man's never learned a technique, or he's never created his own technique. They just steal it. Then, the last, or with Carrot's introduction to the series, and we definitely need another female Straw Hat, am I right? It's a sausage fest, and with Jinbei basically confirmed, it would be nice to have another lady amongst the crew. And Carrot has shown to be quite a good chemistry with all of the members, as far as we've seen, more or less. Luffy seems to get along very well with her, which is, obviously very beneficial. He literally just has to ask her. But, there's a few criteria, which has never been outright confirmed by Oda, I don't think. That you have to have a tragic backstory, have a dream, and then Luffy asks you to join the crew. I mean, Brook almost literally did it like 5 seconds after he was asked, but he had something he had to do. He had to get his shadow back. Jinbei was the same, and that was a much longer period, not just one arc, before he would eventually, well, he's not officially joined, but basically. Because he had business to take care of, which the whole Keiko Island is basically that. But, so yeah, Jinbei's a given. Carrot, I would like to see it, and she fills the criteria fairly well. Tragic backstory, Pedro was her teacher and probably best advisor in everything. She looked up to him almost like a father, it seems like. She respected him to the highest order. So, and he's now dead, as far as we know. I don't think he's coming back. So, tragic backstory. It might have been very recent, but it happened. So there's that. She technically has a dream, though it's a little weaker, but then again, Usopp has kind of flip-flopped on what he wants, so I think we can give a pass for Carrot on just wanting to see the world, because all she's ever known is Zoe. So, adequate dream. I mean, a lot of people have that dream every day of wanting to see the world, so it fits well here. But, and she holds her own in a fight. I mean, with the Sulong transformation alone, she's wrecking house, so, which, should she join, I definitely see Chopper giving her, like, a version of the Rumble Ball that may allow her to transform at any time. Maybe just for 3 minutes, like the Rumble Ball typically works. And it would be, yet again, I go back to Dragon Ball with, when Vegeta wanted to use the Great Ape form during his battle with Goku, he made an artificial moon because Piccolo had destroyed the moon. Funny that it was both the moon. Yeah. Beastly creature in the moon. Boy, lunatics, really. But, which is where that word comes from, where Luna became lunatic because everyone thought everyone went crazy when the full moon was out. But it's just a little side fact. So yes, Carrot would be a great match. Now some people are probably thinking, what role could she fill? Because all Straw Hats have to fill a role on the ship. Well, we know Jinbei is the helmsman. He's shown a great aptitude for it. Carrot has shown what she can do. And I even thought of this as like kind of a joke that Oda could make. Okay, we've seen her on at least 2 occasions since the Straw Hats have been trying to escape Big Mom that she was a lookout. There you go. She becomes the official lookout or watchman for the Straw Hats. And the gag that Oda could play off is that she primarily eats carrots, and anybody know the old, wise tale of eating carrots gives you good eyesight? Well, she seems to have fairly good eyesight, so ha ha ha, Oda could play that joke quite well. Seems quite with his humor and, things as such. And I would think if that's the case, Carrot would probably be the last of the Straw Hats to join the actual main crew. And why I think we will be getting two this go around is because, well, not many people have been talking about it as far as I know, but way back in Dressrosa when there were inklings of a new crew member joining, and Oda mentioned during, I think it was an SBS, but I could be wrong, he said that the next crewmate to join would be more than one. Well, this was also the time when we got the Grand Fleet, which Luffy is not officially on board with that idea, but they're not going to stop. Most people quit talking about this because it was like, well, there's a bunch in the Grand Fleet. There's 5,600. That's what Oda meant. Maybe not. With how the series is going at this point, I mean, it's been 10 years since Brook joined the crew, and it's almost estimated that there'll be another 10 years of One Piece, so why not just fill the roster now? But, yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts about Carrot joining the crew. She meets all the requirements, she has a role she can play, and good chemistry with the crew as it stands now. Plus, she's a girl, which is always a nice addition. I'm not a furry. Though she almost makes me one. Anyway, final, I think it would be the final thing. I didn't write it in my notes, but it was easy to remember. It was like a little side note. Oh, actually, there's a couple side notes, sorry. Okay, also in this chapter, we met Charlotte Bavaros, or Bavarian Cream, is basically what it amounts to. I didn't notice it on my first read through, but afterwards I was like, wait, this dude's starting to look familiar. I mean, he's a boxer, not a common fighting style in One Piece, and he was already in a stance even though he's manning a ship. Why would he need to be in a fighting stance? Well, there's another boxer that's almost constantly in his fighting stance. And I think we may need to get Mori on this. Mori Pofovich? But the Mori show. Because we might have to have a special You Are the Father session with King Elisabello. He might have been getting funky with Big Mom. But that may not be the case. But he is the 26th son, which would be a fairly long time ago. At least 20... Well... I didn't do the math beforehand, but a fairly long time ago. And maybe Big Mom was not as notorious pirate back then. She wasn't a Yonko. Or maybe his country wasn't part of the world government yet, because he doesn't seem to be as high standing as some of the others, but maybe that's just me looking at it that way. So maybe they got it on when one or both of them was not in such a position, and it was feasible, and no one was going to really think about it because no one really knew or cared who they were. I don't know. It's just the only way to make that work, because I think if the world government found out, his country would be gonzo. I mean, if it was wiped off the map, would be the graver of possibilities, but I could see just being kicked out of the government. And also, I was, looking through Twitter this morning, I noticed that Joy Boy mentioned something, and to be honest, I was a little taken back. Okay, way back during the Usopp Syrup Village arc, we met Mary, the one who made the Going Merry. Kaya. I always want to say Kana for some reason. One letter difference makes all the difference. But he was her butler. Well, the man has like a wool hairstyle, and he had like little horns. For the longest time I thought, oh, maybe it's a hat or something. But what if he's a mink? Or a half mink? Which then would mean, holy crap, he holds the title of first mink and first hybrid of a mink. First hybrid, I think, period, in the series. So a possible third title. But, and I mean, that was way back. Like, I don't even think there was hardly, I can't remember exactly what chapter that would have been, but it would have been way before the mink name had ever been mentioned in the series. Way into the Sabaody arc. And, yeah. Talk about Oda thinking about furries. Way back before it was, well, yeah, furries were a thing even at that point, so, maybe he heard about them, thought it was an interesting idea, and then incorporated it, and then either just kind of skimmed on the idea as time went on, but then, like, hey, I like animal people, they're fun, so let's throw them in, let's give them a funny name and end it there. But yeah, overall, I think that's about all I have to really say. Sorry if I rambled. Sorry if I'm not as clear because of possible sickness, stuffed up head and whatnot. But anyway, follow me on Twitter at Keishan Prime. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Keishlings, roll out.